Hello guys, my name is Patrick Mensa and today I am going to talk about how to use logical statements to select rows from a data set. So sometimes you might have a data set and then you would like to select some of the columns or the rows in which you want to use logical reasonings to actually select the rows. So basically this is what the video is going to talk about. So without much ado, let's look at the WEM data set. This is a data set we have been using for a very long time. So we run this data set by pressing the command plus enter to read the data sets, and then we use the view function to view the data, and then it tells you everything about it. I wouldn't go too much because you already know everything about this data if you have been watching my video, but if it is not if this is the first time, then this is a data set that contains seven columns. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it contains 20 rows. So now we attach the data to make sure that any of the variables that we call become so easy for us. So we press command and enter to attach the data. So now look at this data. So when you look at this data, you see the shrubs over here. Now, sometimes you want to select a data that contains only the shrubs. So you want all the columns, all the rows that contains only the shrubs. Let's look at the code that you use to do that. So we want to select all the rows of vegetation with shrubs. So let's say we want to do that. This is the code we want to do. So you call for the WEMS data sets. So you call for it, then you use the square brackets, and then you call for the data vegetation. So after the vegetation, then you use equal to sign, and this equal to sign, you shouldn't give a space like this. No, it should be closer. So equal to, then the shrub should be in a quotation mark, because that is what we want to do it. And because R is case sensitive, it should not be capital letters. It should be as how it's supposed to be. So shrub. So scrub or scrub, it doesn't matter. Then after you have done that, then you bring comma here. So after that, then you run the data. So when you run the data, you can see that you see all the columns, and you see the shrubs over here. So for example, if you want to work with a data set that has to do with only the shrub, then this is how we are supposed to do that. Another issue is that when you look at these data sets, for example, we want to select all the data set, all the dump, we want to select all the rows that is true in this dump rows. So you see that this this is a logical data column. So we have a true and false. So what you have to do is that you want to select all the rows of true values of the dump. So that is basically what we want to do. Okay, so I would say we are trying to select all the rows of the true values of dumps. So that one, what you have to do is to call for the data set, WEMS, then the square bracket, then you say dump. It will come, and then the dump should be equal to true. This one, you don't have to put it in a quotation mark because it's a logical statement. So we do that, and then you run it. So after you run it, you can see that it shows you a data set that contains all the true values of the dump data set. So basically, that is how it's supposed to do. Another issue is now we want to select the WEMS density. So look at the WEMS density over here. Now we want to select a WEMS density that is greater than the medium of the WEMS density, and the soil pH should be greater than 5.6. So this is very, very simple. Now the first thing we have to do is to check for the median of the WEMS density. So we want to say, just to be sure, so median of the WEMS density. So worm density. You want to look at the median first. So the median is telling you that it is 4. So now, after we have done that, this is the statement we want to do. We want to make sure that we select the columns, the rows that has worm density greater than its mean. So its median. So we want to select a data set that is greater than its median. So it's supposed to be greater than 4. You can even select greater than 4, or you can select greater than its median. And then the soil pH should be less than 5.6. So you see the end here. End here is a logical statement. So we should look at how we are going to do that. So that one too, you say you call for the worms data set, then you bring the square bracket, then you say the worm density, then worm density should be greater than, the median of worm density. Because we know it is 4, we can say greater than 4, but we just want to make sure you understand it. So it's supposed to be greater than this one. And so you bring the end sign, and then soil pH. So soil pH should be less than, should be less than what? 5.6. Then after that, you bring your comma. Let's run it and see. So now let's look at it. Now it's giving you a worm density here. Look at the worm density here. You can see that all the values are greater than 5 or 4 because the median is 4. And then the soil pH here is less than 5.6. So all the values over here are less than 6. So that is how it is done. Another issue is we can also select, so we can also, there is another thing that we can also do. For example, when you look at the data set, right, we have a middle over here. So we want to select when the vegetation that is middle, and then the damp data set that is false. So we can say that we want to select middle vegetation with false damp. So false damp. So this one, if you want to do that, this is how you're going to do it. You call for the worm data set. Then after you do that, bring the square bracket, then you say vegetation. Then it's supposed to be equal to what? Middle. Then after that, end damp. Bring the end. Damp is supposed to be what? True. False. False. After that, you bring your comma, because all these things are supposed to be a row. So, and then here to be a column. So you can do whatever thing you want to do over here, but that is not important. So we run that. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it's telling you that we don't have any data set that is that. So yes, it's telling you that we don't have that kind of data set. So another thing you can do is, let's look at the true values and see whether we can do that. We do the same thing. And then let's say true and see. So true. And then we run it like this. And then let's run it and see. Okay, you see that it gave us that. So it's telling you that there is no value. The first one is telling us that there is no value with middle and then damp false. You can't get it. You can go to the data set and see. You would never see middle, that is vegetation, that is this, and then damp. Let's look at the middles. Middles here, you see true. And the middle here, true. Middle here, true. So that's that. So the first statement doesn't work. Yep. So another issue is let's look at medial vegetations, and then we look at the medial vegetation and through damp, and then we concatenate the soil, the slope, the area, and then the soil pH. Let's look at this over here. So far, assuming we want to do this, we want to do medial vegetation through damp. The damp is supposed to be through, and we concatenate. You concatenate the slope, the area, and then the soil pH. Let's look at how it is done. It's very, very simple. Let's give some space over here. So we call for the worms data set. Then we say vegetation. Vegetation is supposed to be middle. Then what else? Okay, end. So we bring the end statement, and then damp is true. So damp is supposed to be true. No quotation mark because it is it's a logical statement. Logical statement. And then we concatenate. So we put in the quotation mark vegetation. Remember, it is case sensitive vegetation. Oh no, it's not vegetation. Okay, we want to bring vegetation, and then we want to bring damp too, because we need that. Okay, damp. Then we also need slope. Then we also need area and soil pH. All is supposed to be in sorry. And then soil pH dot pH. So let's run it and see. Yep. So you can see that we have been able to select middle vegetation here. We need only middle, and the damp is supposed to be only through. Then we concatenate it because we need this data. We need vegetation, we need damp. So we have slope, area, and then soil. This is here. It's very, very simple. Another issue is when we need vegetation, middle vegetation, or through damp, then we concatenate this one. It's like we need the whole of this data, but this statement is supposed to be or, the or statement, because it is a logical statement. Now, it is basically the same as this, but the end is what we are going to, we need the same statement, but the end, then we use or, and this or is like a straight bar like this. So let's run it and see. So it gives us the or. So it's either the vegetation is middle or damp is true. So you see all the true damps, we see vegetation's middle. But remember that every issue that has true, we'll take care of that. So basically that is how it is done. Now, now if you want to select all the columns that contains numbers, so we want to look at this. We want to look at the columns 1, 2, 3, 4. They all contain numbers. Let's look at how the code we can do that. So we are going to use a code by selecting all the columns that contains numbers. So that one, we say we call for the WIMS data set. Let me give more space. We call for the WIMS data set. Then we bring comma here. Then we say supply. Supply here. Then after that, then we call for the WIMS data again. And then what else is numeric? So it's going to give you all the columns with numeric values. So let's look at this. So when you do that, when you look at it, you can see that it has selected all the columns that has numeric values. So the same thing, if you want to select all the columns that contains characters, that one too, I wouldn't worry too much. You copy this one and paste it here. Then here, you just say is character, and you run it. Yeah, it is showing you all the rows of observations with characters. Now, another issue is, let's look at this. Why didn't you choose factors? If you choose a factor, it's going to tell you that it's now, just because the character variables are here, they are not factors. So another thing you can do is to, convert it into a factor before you can do that. But that is not the focus of this. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.